Whales in space. These behemoths and leviathans of the void are often seen in TV shows, games, and also described in books. While some may have the general outline of whales that are seen in the oceans of real life, others are still called so despite having otherworldly body designs. So here in this video, we will explore the biggest of these in fiction. Let's get to them. The first and smallest here is the purrgil from Star Wars, which are semi-sentient species of massive whales that live in deep space, and they are often encountered while they are traveling from one star system to another. They have streamlined bodies with a smooth-looking bluish-purple skin with 4 large back tentacles and multiple fins. They are pack creatures and are seen living in groups consisting of up to dozens of individuals. The most interesting part of these are that they are able to fly through hyperspace by creating some sort of tunnels from one part of space to another, which means they can travel at faster than the speed of light. Next is an entry from the Star Trek universe, which is a bit larger, and they are described as being space whales while having bodies that doesn't seem to look like whales. They spend their lives feeding off of alpha particles in solar winds. Often they are also so consumed by this feeding instinct that they would forget to mate and reproduce. They are actually sentient creatures, and their bodies are composed of multiple fin-like flaps and multiple tentacles on their back end. And as for their head, it is bulbous, with a mouth that has 4 detachable jaws. Next, coming from the universe of Star Citizen, at 3 times larger is the storm whale, which is a flying whale that is native to the atmosphere of many gas giant planets. They are essentially atmospheric creatures, but are also able to survive in outer space, but for only a limited duration of time. They have a body that does resemble a whale, at least when talking about the main torso and head, but they have multiple tentacles, of which a few of them possess beautiful, fluffy feather-like outgrowths. Now just a bit larger is the Jirac kaiju from the Ultraman Cosmos series. First appearing in episode 16, the flying whale. This one resembles a massive blue whale, and the Jirac possesses the extraordinary ability to levitate, thus earning the nickname the flying whale. Other than that, it is just a minor enemy in the series. So we have another one from the Star Trek universe, which is 3 times longer than the kaiju Jirac, and this one is called the Gekli, or also known as the members of junior species. These creatures look very streamlined in body shape, kinda like a whale or even a strange fish, with a tapered body with grayish skin and an orange fringe coloration at the ends. It has no obvious eyes, nor any other sensory organs as far as we can tell. And as of common Star Trek knowledge, their physical structure is actually just a mass of plasma energy that is contained within an outer covering, which is also called a shell. Now next is Moya, which is a leviathan, twice longer than a Gekli, a living sentient spaceship in the Farscape series. Unlike conventional spacecraft, leviathans like Moya are actually organic beings capable of faster than light travel through a process called starburst. Moya's gentle nature and immense size draws parallels to Earth's whales, serving as a nurturing home for her crew as they journey through uncharted territories. Being biomechanoid in nature, Moya contains both biological and technological components inside of her. Now, from the Macross universe, we have the Valaena, which are colossal whale-like creatures which are also termed as galaxy whales. They inhabit the vastness of interstellar and intergalactic space. They are a bit bigger than the Moya spacecraft, and they travel all over the universe to absorb energy, but after every feeding cycle or season, they come back to stop at a planet called Zola. These whales live for 7,000 years, and they continue to travel throughout the galaxy until they run out of energy. Their peaceful and massive forms evoke the imagery of oceanic whales, which gracefully glides through the cosmic seas. So coming up a little bigger is the star whale that appears in the Doctor Who episode The Beast Below. This enormous ancient creature supports the remnants of the British population on its back, forming the spaceship Starship UK. It is sentient and is similar to Earth's whales in basic structure. It has several flippers and also tentacles down her stomach, and it also has spiked tendrils on its back. This star whale was actually helping the people of the UK to traverse space despite being tortured and captured by them. It actually saw the people as hurting children that needed to get to safety, and it was willing to help despite being mistreated so badly. Now, coming to the expansive universe of No Man's Sky, travelers here may encounter massive whale-like creatures drifting through the cosmos. These leviathans are majestic beings that are actually organic starships. They have a massive central body with beaks and also 2 very long prongs. And they also have 6 extremely long tentacles sprouting from their back. These leviathans are a couple of kilometers long at the very least. Then even bigger are the Tiyanki, which are peaceful space-dwelling entities seen in the game of Stellaris. These gentle giants roam from system to system, feeding on gases from gas giant planets, and despite being termed as space whales, they appear more like gigantic jellyfish. They can travel at both sublight and faster than light travels, but their mode of propulsion is still unknown, though they can evidently travel the galaxy at speeds comparable to mechanical starships. So then we come to the city building game called Before We Leave, and here players build and rebuild civilizations on planets that can be threatened by colossal creatures known simply as space whales. These celestial beings drift through space and may consume entire planets if not properly managed. But in this game, the planets are micro-size, relatively speaking that is. Their immense size and planet-devouring behavior are the most annoying part of the game. So stepping up a notch, we have something within the StarCraft universe. This is the Zerg Leviathan, which serves as a massive organic spacecraft for the Zerg swarm. These behemoths, measuring approximately 11 kilometers in length, function as carriers and command centers. They were once actually just spaceborne organisms which were like space whales, and then they were captured and integrated into the Zerg swarm. Now they are seen as transporting countless Zerg organisms across the stars to propagate their species. Their whale-like forms and role as living vessels shows the Zerg's genetic engineering at its finest. The next entry is 10 times bigger, 10x. So this will be in the upcoming city builder game called Beyond These Stars, where players will establish settlements on the back of a gigantic organism called Kiwa, an enormous space-dwelling creature, a space whale. And Kiwa's living surface would provide resources and land for development, which would create a symbiotic relationship between the inhabitants and their colossal host. This concept mirrors the idea of living on a gentle giant, much like remoras or even barnacles, hitching rides on earthly whales and growing as a colony on the creature. Then 10 times this creature is another one from the universe of Voltron, and these creatures are called cosmic whales that are easily the size of dwarf planets. They are so massive that they have their own atmosphere and ecosystems on their backs, like a world turtle, like Atuin. They inhabit a very chaotic region of space called the Quantum Abyss. They have armored backs and a soft underbelly, with dozens of trailing sensory antennae in the rear. But even this pales in comparison to the number 1 spot, and this one comes from the Warhammer 40k universe, which features the biggest of these space whales, and here they are known as void whales. These are gargantuan entities born in the void of space, but sometimes drift and are corrupted by the machinations of the warp. These creatures, the biggest ever, encountered in the Codex Space Wolves 5th edition was nearly 12,000 miles long, or 19,000 kilometers, which means it was bigger than even planet Earth, at least in length. This void whale and others like it navigate both the immaterium, which is the warp, and real space, and they host entire ecosystems and biospheres within their vast bodies. Anyway, those are the biggest whales in fiction, so leave a like for support and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, fam.